All right, so there's guys out there who don't focus on the basics, the tried and tested method when it comes to learning how to code. They'll be like constantly context switching, right? They're putting in a half-assed effort. And when they inevitably don't get any results, they'll be like, oh, it's the bad economy, bro. That's why I can't get hired. And these guys don't get anywhere. Whereas there's other guys out there who work hard. They try the tried and tested ways of getting hired, getting a coding job, and they get a high paying role in no time. I'm going to talk about what I think is the difference here. Specifically, I'm going to talk about 5 things I wish I knew before I started programming. This is going to include some of the mistakes I've made. I truly believe if you follow the advice in this video, you'll get to your end goal significantly faster. Without further ado, let's dive into it. I remember clearly, I was sitting at my desk, right? And I got my laptop open. This is back when I was still a CS student. And I'm Googling, oh, is Security Plus a good certification to get into cybersecurity? And I'm looking at like bug bounty programs. And next day I'm like, oh, how to become a front-end developer. Next day, how to become a back-end developer. And say I decided on, oh, I want to be a back-end developer. And say I picked my resource, say it's free code camp. I'd stick with it for a little bit, but as soon as it got hard, I'd drop it like a hot potato. This leads me to the first point I want to make. We must follow the K.I.S.S principle, which is keep it simple, stupid, right? I was definitely not keeping it simple. I was context switching constantly. And this was just a form of procrastination. Again, as soon as something got hard, I just drop it, right? And ultimately, getting a software engineering job is not complex. It is hard work, but it's not complex. You just need a resume with relevant projects to your domain. Throw that resume out as much as possible, preferably through networking, but cold applications are fine as well. Throw it out. You'll get responses eventually. Then do interview prep through Leetcode, behavioral interview, and get hired, right? Simple, not easy. And this constant context switching that I was doing, it was just a form of procrastination to avoid the hard work. I truly believe if you just take a resource, it's okay to try different things at the start, but once you've picked something, take it, see it through to the bitter end, right? Especially if you're following a resource like Free Code Camp, they'll have you build projects. So if you see it through till the bitter end, you'll have projects on your resume, right? And then from there, you'll be in a much better position and you'll be able to get to your end goal a lot faster compared to if you just constantly hop from resource to resource. Now, part of the issue here is these people online who say, oh, you want to be a software engineer, bro? Well, you got to be a rocket scientist, bro. Then you got to build 30 different websites. And after that, you got to start 10 startups. Like, no, take that thought, throw it out the window. All right, we don't listen to those people. These people put a train of thought on us that will not serve us whatsoever. Again, this stuff is not complex, right? Don't let these people tell you otherwise. It's not complex. It is hard work, but it's not complex. Now, next thing I remember is I was sitting in my living room, right? And I'm laying down. I'm not even taking this stuff seriously. And at that time, App Academy had their coding boot camp for free online. So it was pre-recorded lectures, and they were offering it for free. So I open my laptop. I'm looking at this, and the instructor is explaining for loops to us, right? And I'm learning about for loops, and I just want to bang my head against the wall because I don't understand a single word that's coming out of his mouth. I'm like, what the is this guy saying? Right? I don't understand any of it. And I look around me and there's no one there to help, right? It's just me sitting in my room. And this leads me to the next point I want to make. Get a CS degree if you have the time and money for it. Look, I'm so sick and tired of how disrespected degrees are in general online. It's like, oh, degrees are a waste of time, bro. Degrees are free debt, bro. You can just learn everything through YouTube, bro. Like, no, take that thought, throw it out the window. All right, we don't listen to those people, right? What they're saying, the train of thought that they're putting on us is just plain false. We know through research alone that on average, people with degrees tend to make more money. Now, I'm not trying to say that you need a degree to be successful, but let's look at all the advantages you get with a CS degree. If you're in a similar situation to me where you're not understanding a concept, you can literally tap someone next to you, hey man, I don't understand this, can you help me with this? You have an instructor right in front of you who probably has a PhD in this shit, and they can help you out. And you'll be able to get like internship opportunities, right? Which are invaluable. And I'll talk about that a little bit after, but they truly are invaluable. And you'll have connections in the industry from day one. The people you work or you study with, these people are gonna get into some of the companies you want to work for later. So you have references in the back of your hand at all times. And some of these people will become your lifelong friends. Like there's so much value in college. Now there is an affordability issue. I understand college is very overpriced. So that's why I say if you have the time and money for it, strongly consider it, right? Now, the next thing I remember is I'm laying down, and this is before I was employed, right? So I'm laying down on my bed, and it's like 11 a.m. I finally wake up, and I reach for my phone, and I'm getting a call. I pick it up. Hello? And it's a call from a recruiter of a Silicon Valley tech company. And I'm mind blown because I had applied to significantly smaller companies that basically no one's heard of, and they wouldn't give me the time of day. Yet this company's calling me back. And as I was going through their interview process, the whole time I was like, there's no way they hire me. There's no way they hire me. I'd like rejected myself before anything even started. And I ended up getting the job offer, right? And the only reason I believe I got that job offer, or even the interview in the first place, is because I had an internship in a relevant domain prior. It was a 4-month internship, and I performed very well in that internship. This leads me to the next point. Internships truly are invaluable. That internship is the only reason I got this callback, and this callback was what led to me having a 6-figure role before I even graduated university. And having this tech company's name on my resume now makes getting interviews significantly easier. So this 4 months of hard work led to getting, all this money, and also made my future career work significantly easier. Truly, truly invaluable. And the company you do the internship at, you can get hired by them. If you do a good job, they'll want to hire you. But even if they don't have headcount, now you've made friends in the industry, your coworkers, they're going to be your friends. And also, if they don't have the headcount, you now have a reference. So if you performed well, you can go to someone else and say, hey, I know my stuff. Here's a reference. I worked for this person. You can ask them. And they'll be like, yeah, I worked with them. They'll be a great addition to your team. So you got a great reference now as well. Internships really are invaluable. Don't sleep on internships. If you get the opportunity, take it. Take it and run with it, right? Now, next thing I remember, I'm sitting in my room again, right, at my desk, laptop open, and this was when I was doing my database class. So I'm learning all these database concepts, and instead of just doing the damn readings that my teacher assigned me, I'm like jumping from YouTube video, oh, let's try this YouTube video, let's try this YouTube video, to try to learn the concepts, right? And at that time, I was also following the Pomodoro technique. So when, I had studied for 25 minutes, I'd take a 5-minute break. But that 5-minute break would inevitably turn into like a 15, 20, 25-minute break before I finally got back to work again. This leads me to the next point. The whole reason I was having this problem is because I was focusing on how many hours I worked. Because I was focused on the hustle culture mindset at that time. Oh, I got to work 8 hours a day. I got to work 10 hours a day. But guess what? Most of those hours were bloody useless because I'm just like jumping from video to video, not absorbing anything. So look into deep work, right? Deep Work, is a big book written by Cal Newport. I'm going to try to summarize it into a few sentences. I probably won't do it justice, so definitely look into it. But basically what it is instead of having this scattered content, constant context switching type of work environment, focus on one task for a long time, for 2 to 4 hours. Focus on one task, right? And you'll be able to get a lot more done that way and a lot more quality work done that way. Right. One of the most staggering things that I learned from that book is when they conducted research on people's attention spans, they noted that if someone was focused on something and they did something as little as reading a text message or responding to a text message, when they went back to the task they were doing, it took them up to 20 minutes to build up that attention again, just from that one context switch. And me, I was context switching like every bloody 10 minutes, right? So I had basically no focus throughout the day. So yeah, I was studying for like 8 hours a day, 6 hours a day, but they were bloody useless. So focus on the actual output. What are you producing work-wise rather than the hours worked? Now, part of the issue here with this is these people say, oh, you got to grind, bro. Even if you have to sleep 2 hours a day, bro, you got to work 12-hour days. And I don't take that thought throughout the window, all right? We don't listen to those people. They're putting a mentality on us that's going to serve us horrifically. It definitely served me horrifically. I know I would have made way more progress if I started focusing on the output and I actually focused on, one thing for a few hours, right? Because you'll be surprised when you do like 3 to 4 hours of deep work, like it's actually pretty exhausting, right? So rather than being like, oh, I got to work 8-hour days, 12-hour days, do focused work on the impactful things and watch how far you get. Now, next thing I remember is I'm scrolling on my Facebook feed, right? Got my phone here. And this is before I even started CS. And I see this one post. My friend's name, I'm not going to say their name here. My friend's name gets hired at Google. And I'm like, wow, mind blown, right? Because I didn't know anyone who worked at like Google, Facebook, or anything like this. And now I know a few people who are in these big tech companies, right? This leads me to the next point. If this big tech is your goal, it wasn't my goal back then. I mean, I would have definitely loved to work for big tech, but at that point, I just wanted a job, right? I didn't care who it was for, really. So if your goal is big tech, Leetcode is a non-negotiable, right? Everyone I know who got into big tech, they had to do Leetcode. It's a hoop you have to jump through. Now we can argue all day about whether it's a fair hoop. I don't even want to get into that. Point is, if you want to get into FANG, you want to get into big tech, make sure you're focusing on Leetcode, right? And that is the last thing that I wish I knew. So that in total is 5 things I wish I knew before I started programming. I do want to end this video off by saying, hey, be kind to yourself throughout this process. This is not an easy journey whatsoever, right? Again, it's simple, not easy. And I remember I pivoted into computer science from a criminology degree. I remember, I'm sitting at my desk and it's constant, as I'm studying, I can barely study because there's thoughts going through in my mind. Am I smart enough to do this? Am I good enough to do this? Will I even be able to do this? Software engineering, computer science is like this smart people subject. Am I even cut out for this? I was literally, dude, I was on my phone, right? And this is like at 12 a.m. I remember doing this. It's like 12, literally middle of the night this is. And I'm taking like IQ tests to see if my IQ is high enough to be a programmer, right? And it's like there were so many doubts in my mind. And I just don't want you to go through the same process. I'm confident you're smart enough to do it. Just put in the effort and reap the rewards, right? You will make it happen. And remember that success in this stuff is truly exponential, right? I started my CS degree December 2019. I got my high-paying job offer August 2021. And between that time, the most I had made is like slightly above minimum wage. So it was like, oh, no results, 6-figure job offer, right? So success in this stuff is exponential. So don't get discouraged when you don't see the progress day by day by day. If you're putting in the work, you will reap the rewards. And if you're in a situation similar to where I was, right? Because what got me into the CS stuff is I was traveling 1 hour, 30 minutes to a job, customer service job, with people like yelling at me all day on the phone and traveling 1 hour, 30 minutes back just to get paid a little above minimum wage. And I was like, I'm not doing this anymore, right? I know I can get to a place with better lifestyle and better money. And that was a big motivation for me to pivot into computer science, right? So if you're doing it for a similar situation, I definitely want to tell you there's light at the end of the tunnel, right? So keep pushing. I believe in you, but frankly, what I believe doesn't matter. What you believe matters. So I hope you believe in yourself too. Now, I just want you to imagine for a second. Imagine that you take this advice, you run with it, you stay consistent day by day by day, and you get that job you always wanted, and your money is going up and up and up, right? You're getting promotions, getting raises, maybe going to a different company, whatever. Your money's going up and up and up. Now you got enough money to go out, have fun with your friends, have enough money to go out on dates. Because I didn't even have enough money for that. I didn't have enough money to go out with my friends, go out on dates. I had to borrow that from my parents, right? Now imagine you have the money to do that. Imagine you've got the money now to support your family and to buy some things you always wanted. Maybe you want a new car, whatever it is. And imagine that you have the money to do that now. Imagine that now you're working remote. You don't dread going into work every single day. You're working remote for a company that offers you a good work-life balance. Imagine that. And that's the path you're on. Again, keep working hard. I believe in you, but frankly, what I believe doesn't matter. What you believe matters. So I hope you believe in yourself too. And that's all I got for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Ultimately, I want this to be our positive little community where we help each other, support each other, and help each other get to the next level in life. So please come join the community. I'll leave my Instagram, TikTok somewhere here. Please do support there as well. Please do like, comment, subscribe. I'll talk to you later. Peace.